welcome to my channel. My name is Malena and today I want to show you some exercises for elevating your posture in a feminine and sophisticated way, and especially exercises to loosen up your hips and to provide you with a more sensual hip game, you know. I have been a dancer for all my life, but I was also dancing professionally in an Oriental Dance group during my studies. That was around 15 years ago. And after that, I became a dance teacher for Sensual Dances. I have lots of experience with dances, but I put an emphasis on sensuality and on the hips. You don't have to be a dancer, or you don't have to dance in order to be able to do that. Some of us ladies have it naturally. They have a natural, flowy and a sensual hip movement, but other ladies struggle with it, especially when they are not used to this sensual, wavy movements. And that's why I will tell you a few techniques to practice this a little bit. First of all, in order to concentrate on the hips, we of course have to think about our upper body posture that I've already talked about in my previous videos, meaning that we start by imagining that an invisible string is pulling our head up and elongating our spine. That way we grow a little bit and we have a straight upright posture immediately. Then we push our chin a little bit backwards, roll our shoulders, and in order to practice, we can do it several times and also in a more exaggerated way until we really feel relaxed in this shoulder area and our shoulders are downwards. Our chest will be automatically up and our core activated. And now we will concentrate on the hips. So at the moment I'm standing in a neutral hip position. My weight is distributed equally on both sides. If I transferred my weight to the right one, then I would be able to lift my leg up. So you can try this together with me. Just stand in a neutral position with your weight on both sides and then try to shift to one side until you can actually lift up your leg, and then you also do it on the left side. This way you will already get a feeling on this weight transfer. So we will now try to transfer this weight from one hip to another by really exaggerating, meaning that you will now put your weight totally on the side but not lift your other leg up. You will rather bend your knee like this so that the hip goes up, because you totally put your weight on one side and unlocked your hip. Before our hip was locked, now we unlock it. For this you have to bend the left knee. And now the other side, you have to bend the right knee and unlock the left hip, and it goes up like this. And this way we can already stretch the hips a little bit, because we never have to do it that exaggerated, but you know now how space you actually have. First of all, we have to warm up, and in order to warm up we will just try to isolate our upper body and circle our lower body or our hips to the left as well as to the right. So remember to stay calm upwards and just circle your pelvis and your lower body. And for this you also stand on the floor. I'm only moving my middle part. So of course the knees are also flexible because you need that to do this movement, but the rest of the body is isolated. And then you will be warmed up, and now we will practice the hip drop, and the hip drop is important for all our walking and standing situations in which we would like to have those sensual hips. The first exercise that we will be doing comes from Bellydance and is called the hip drop. So in order to do this, of course, you have to warm up like we did before, and then we position ourselves as we learned in the video about elegant standing. If you saw this, if not, I will link it here so that you can see. So we position one leg in the back and we put the other leg to the front. Like to have this beautiful curve, we put it diagonal. And then we put all of our weight on the leg that is standing behind, and we stand on the toes with the leg that is in the front, so that we have even more movement and our knees already flexed. Now what we will do is we pull up this hip that is in the front as much as we can and drop it. We pull it up and drop it. Pull it up and drop it. Pull up, drop. Please remember that the movement goes down. It's not like this. That's not what we were learning in belly dance. What we do is we pull up and then let it drop, so that the accent is always down, down, down. This is also more difficult because you stretch and then you drop. You really have to release when dropping, and this is a very, very good exercise to stretch your hip area and to learn this releasing. Of course, you can do this on both sides. You just change the legs and you do the same. You elevate, imagine the imaginary string pulling your hip up and then drop it. Up, drop it. Up, drop it. So it's like this. There is movement and flexibility. The belly dance exercise is wonderful if you want to practice and stretch your hips, because while doing that and after doing that, you will feel that you have done something in this area. And after that, you might become more loose when you walk. You will be more sensual in your hip movement. And this is something that, of course, we want to achieve. The second exercise comes from my favorite dance that I have been teaching for many years, Kizomba. And Kizomba is a sensual couple dance which has roots in Angola, meaning African roots, and we all know that in the African dances there is also a lot of hip and booty movement. So this dance puts big emphasis on the hip area, and especially for the ladies. The ladies, or also followers in the dance, are able to play a lot with their hips. But in contrast to the other dances, for example, in contrast to the belly dance, where we did this hip drop in the front, in Kizomba, all of the movement takes place in the back. So it comes from the lady styling specifically for the lady. And it means styling because you can style your dance by applying those different movements. Some ladies do more and some ladies do less. But we will use this exercise in order to get more flexible in our hips, and not only to the front and vertical as we just practice in the belly dance exercise, but also in the other side, lateral. So first of all, we start with the weight transfer, and then we will do the booty roll and then combine both. So as I just explained before, you know that you can transfer the weight on one leg and on the other, also when your hips are locked, like now. This is part one. Now part two is the booty roll. So there is an image that will help you to perform this exercise, but it's not the most elegant image, I have to admit. I learned it from another dance teacher and it really works, so I will just tell it to you, but please forget about it afterwards. It's just in order to get the idea of how this movement actually works. So imagine you have a brush, a painting brush, here in your bag, and you are trying to paint the wall from down to up. This is what we will now practice. So we go down a little bit in our knees and then up And by going up, we have to make a booty roll upward. So we just go down and up, down and up. So now I will turn around so that you can see how to combine those two movements. Because now we will combine the booty roll together with the weight transfer, meaning that we will roll on one side and roll on the other side while transferring the weight. It sounds more complicated than it actually is. So here again we have, this is the weight transfer with locked hips, and now we do it on one side while having most of the weight on one side, on the left one, and then we go and do it on the other side. We try to combine it so that it is a flowing movement. One side, left, right, left and right, left and right. You can also walk with this movement. So you can just walk frontal while doing the button roll to the back. And of course you can walk backwards. I will show you here. While always rolling backwards, down, up, from the down to up, down, up. Now we will continue with the third exercise. We will take the basic step of the salsa dance and combine it with the belly dance sensuality. And we go to the back with our left and go back to the middle, and then we go one step forward with our right and back to the middle. Back with left in the middle, front, middle. Now, in order to make this more sensual, we will do and paint with our hips a lying 8, a number 8, a diagonal number 8. Meaning that when we go to the front with our right hip and right leg, we paint the upper part of the number 8, making a circle from the inside to the outside while going back. And then with the other side, with the other leg, we paint from the outside to the inside and go back. So it will look like this, 1 8 and the other 8. So outside, 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 outside. This way we will stretch the whole hip area to all the sides. We can of course also change this and do this in this side. We just used the basic step for this exercise. So this is not a dance lesson, it's just an exercise in order to make you feel more flexible and more confident in your hip area, so that afterwards you can walk. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I promise you, when you practice those 3 exercises on a constant basis, for sure you will be more flexible in your hips and you will have much more confidence when moving your hips while walking, for example, or also in dancing. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon. Please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Goodbye!